Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon Ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG Gamer Subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way. I actually don't know what Wawa is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Crow.
Either Skippy or T-Crow.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top man.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pawn is one of the greatest fools would be black.
The library just got much nicer.
Hello, you Pennsylvania faithful. It's time to get with it here in PIEA land. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Ari as we're going straight into the middle of the week. That means our crosshairs are right on you guys as we're going into some Valorant. Ari, we now have unlocked the no fun police. Veto is free for everyone to finally use if they're brave enough to do so. I need to know your over under. Is someone actually going to choose veto this week?
Well, let's take a look at the two teams, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Right now, first matchup, we got Forest Hills and McDowell High School, both teams that I believe, like you kind of said off stream, both lost to Lower Moreland in the state championships. One in the round of 16, one in the round of 8. So funny that they share that common thread. But as for Vito now, I'm going to say, in my personal opinion, I don't like Vito. It does not work for me. Anything that you could do on Vito could be supplemented by a better Sentinel and or a better Duelist, right? You're kind of getting a jack of all trades, which is nice, but you're not getting the best of both worlds. And I think that's why Vito is going to be lacking, at least right now.
Also, it feels like it's kind of already a jab into a wound that's been made gushing by the likes of the most recent patches, because everyone is a lot weaker, cooldowns are a lot longer, and it's a lot less ability and more guns. But I've seen a lot of people celebrating the gunplay. Everyone's like, you know what? I'm actually hitting headshots now. That 85% body, 4% head is starting to switch at least a few integers or so. But we'll see how that one goes, as the Rangers from out of Forest Hills will be on attack to kick things off here, going over to Bind, already super locked in. We got a Vise on one side and a Goal Cypher on the other. That's going to be our makeup here for both of these teams.
I hate how you called me out there. Okay, we don't need to talk about my headshot percentage. All right, it's gonna be okay. It'll be all right, salvageable. But yeah, going into these comps, a Breach and a Sky, not something you typically see, especially now with that util nerf. The Breach, obviously, the stun kind of going from that 40-second cooldown, I believe it was, to 60 now. But at the same time, I'm going to give you that insider info as to why you're seeing the Breach now. It's because of the 3-point-something second flashes now. That's absurd. It's the same as a fully charged guiding light from the Sky. So the fact that you are seeing that double flash along with the Vise, the Reyna, they are just trying to make sure that you cannot see at a single point in this entire game. McDowell, I mean, they're going a little bit more kind of passive on the approach, which may be because they're starting on defense, right? Maybe trying to win as many rounds as they can as the game starts to go. But I think their approach very more traditional, and it will feel slightly more defaulty, or at least should be played slightly more defaulty for their side.
Forest Hills, I mean, 4 of their agents have flashes. This is going to be just squinting into the sun. It's that guy waking up from bed and looking straight into the light from out of, I guess, the morning dew, seeing what the Rangers can do. They're going to make the Trojans suffer as they try to rush things in. It will be a B hit. They're actually going to split this one up instead of the prototypical that we usually get. But it looks like they're going to be running this one down long. And the fault line has been made a touch quicker. I think about 0.1 seconds also to go in combination with those flashpoints. This pressure ain't going to be rolling in as they peak just around the veil, but that cloud goes down.
Look at the pistol round disrespect, by the way. McDowell says, we know you're not faking on pistol. We're just going to 5-man rotate all the way to this B site. We'll smoke you on out, make sure you don't have any of those extra avenues to kind of work with, and now we can start the second guess, right? Send maybe one player over, but as long as you're not hearing anything on A, you're not going to call for those rotates, and so you're going to have everyone get paranoid. There's the TP, though, so that should mean everybody and their mother is rotating through that spawn over to the A site.
Because they have 4 separate blinds, they also leave their 1 smoker behind. So they're going to actually have someone lurking in opposite. Kermit finally finishes off the job, but it doesn't actually get Bacon. They will then eventually get Mini Booper off the map. So this started to be a full clear for the retake of McDowell. Remember, both these teams haven't been able to get a game or match as of yet. So this is their first looks here for the regular season 3v2 late term as the lone survivors, Robotics.
And spotted out. There's the blind. Blinds themselves. Everyone blinded for 3 seconds. Enjoy that. New patch, new team flash evolves, but still, it's going to be McDowell out on top for the first round. I mean, Kermit, I almost expected to kind of get the ace there. You saw maybe potential little baity up towards 7, but it's okay. You got the flashes. You're secure in the round. That's what your job is to do at the end of the day.
So Ari, has the overall flair, the bloom onto the shots for these weapons changed your mind on what you like to go into? I know that some players, they feel a lot more confident on that Vandal, whereas they were kind of crutching into that Phantom. Has it shifted you around a little bit?
Well, I have noticed myself crouch spraying a little bit more, and I think that's just a bad habit on my part. I think I need to stop doing that, but the Phantom is so addicting to kind of just, you know, let that Ion Phantom sing on away, get a spam kill through smoke, and then just laugh maniacally like you've got a skill kill. Instead, though, I mean, if the Vandals should, in theory, still be used here, especially for spray transfers, but Rika making work with the Guardian here.
Ooh, and Molten's going to try and just step straight out. They one whip of the stick, and then they can't land the other one. Getting the Devour just to give themselves a safety net as they back up into U-Haul. Molten not touched by that guiding light. So they will hold this defensive possession as McDowell again has numbers. It's Robotics this time around. They have Strike Force, who's right in the middle of our Tetris. See if they're expecting that one again. Yet another found Old West style. Robotics needs to be able to ace out to get it. They have a chance. They will step away, playing cat and mouse. A single right click would be able to get them down. Melania finishes them off, but not before Robotics at least grabs a 4-bagger.
Very nicely done by everybody out on the field. Yep, picking up that Vandal, making sure you get the defuse. And there you go, McDowell. I mean, obviously a very costly round for them, but they do make the best out of a situation that was very much not in their favor. McDowell going for that retake and was a 3v3 at one point, so you got to kind of cut your losses at some point and just say, let's go for the secure round win, and they do pick that up. Robotics Master, though, nice composure in those final few seconds, right? Making sure you secure those eliminations, you pick up as much pressure as you can, and bring yourselves a chance, of course, to winning the rounds. Just a little bit short here. Now I'm curious to see what Forest Hills can do with the guns if you get Robotics Master save that Vandal like you're seeing in that inventory right now.
One thing that you had mentioned just a moment ago is that you've seen do a lot more crouch stepping, go into some of those fights. I've seen a lot more clips of people literally just drag stepping. They'll be crouching, moving along a lateral line, and getting shots and getting kills through smokes like that. So, gotta wonder if some of that might change here forward. But it's a 5v5 playing into this Judge, very much blinded is their teammate yet again. Kermit's gonna maybe get some extra team comms from that. They have the lone hero rifle from after that initial buy. Now it's a step away as the Razor Thorns go down. Robotics Master will take out their doppelganger. This will be a full team plant for Stills, so it has 5.
This one very scary, and an equalizing pick almost made the case, right? That's one step, and now another one, but now Strike Force equalizing right back, making sure they cannot push the advantage too hard. McDowell, a Guardian and a Dream for the Brimstone, who will be taken down and have a nice shot by Robotics there. Aggressive swing, to say the least, but hey, they escape with 3 players and the round.
That is 2 rounds in a row that Robotics Master has also gotten 4, so they are building up not just through their previous ults, but I mean, I guess they didn't snowball the rest of them through that round, so they'll start from 0. But this is a great rebuttal from Forest Hills. The Rangers also sees McDowell. They rebought into that round instead of sitting pretty, or at least sitting with a single rifle. They rebought, which means they're back down to pistols, and Forest Hills is in a prime position to even this up.
Yeah, a little interesting on that thought process there. Of course, we can't exactly judge, though, because you make that decision, you commit to it, you play as a team, and you're gambling if it works or not. That's the end of the day call. Looks like Robotics Master going to be the one to spearhead this push now into a site. And I feel like for McDowell, you take down this raid boss, you might take down the victory in the round. Going to be a tough shot, though. Bacon Lover will take down the anchor. Now just one player hanging on in U-Haul. No, they're not even going to have a chance either.
For maybe a long distance shot, that would have been a heck of one here out of Kermit. We're gonna have to sidestep, and because they do so, everyone knows that they're up in that top window. Melania, last survivor, far less than a Guardian that had the last time that they were there. Flawless, and that's a great rebuttal from out of the Rangers as we go to round number 5.
Well, I'm trying to piece together the win conditions for both of these teams. And for Forest Hills, it feels like they just got to land their shots, play as a unit, and it's working, right? When they get isolated and go, overheating or off on their own solo journey, that's when you're going to see them get punished by McDowell, because just the sheer number of those players should have enough to take them down. But McDowell, right, they're not even winning against this full bum rush, even with the stack like you're seeing here. This one a very interesting stack, mind you, with the positions and the specific spaces. But I want to see them, go for a little bit more initiative, whether that be a flash retake and just letting that spike go down and then figuring out things afterwards.
I feel like there's a lot of flash mechanics that are starting to come up as an issue, as well as maybe a learning curve for some of these teams. They're taking away some of these key corners, though, as Bacon Lover, with that Aftershock, has definitely denied some key cover from McDowell and the Trojans whenever they start rolling into sight. This is gonna be yet another no, but this is through the smoke. Robotics, oh, they are absolutely programmed to be lethal. 3 in a row. Do they know the 4th is nearby? No, Melania will take them down.
Oh, you can tell they wanted that so bad, but Melania still has a chance to secure this one out. There's one. Spots the second now. The ult available, so that's going to be precious time, but they're going to force them in. This wrap should be expected. The only problem is Melania has no idea where this player is. Now swing into lamps as Melania with 4. Somehow, some way, 4 not enough for the rain on Forest Hills, and they'll drop the round to McDowell.
3 times Melania has been the lone survivor at the end of rounds. The first one couldn't quite land it with the Guardian. The second one, it was just a pistol versus the world into a flawless. This time around, they ended up being the foil to Robotics Master. 7-2 goes the way of Melania to keep McDowell and these Trojans ahead. Forest Hills behind the haunches and the steering of Robotics Master at 14-3. They're looking nasty individually. We get another Empress pop. This one again with Robotics Master trying to make it work out.
Beacon Lover, be careful. You're by yourself. You have the spike. Please don't get punished like this. And luckily, they don't find the initial bullet to their face, but now still plenty more where that came from. Aftershock should prove no plant denial, at least for this triple side. Have a chance to kind of regroup and get things going, but that's going to be a Rolling Thunder. Plant still going down, but that's a perfect time to swing. Molten, however, can't capitalize, and it's just a hail of bullets coming in on this site. Millennia, Kermit's all getting in the action, and now just 2 players down, but that raid boss finally removed, just down to the Vice, and even their positioning noted. A spam kill onto one, but the second one needs a headshot, and the third one, a body, and a clutch for Forest Hills.
Not at all a try hard, simply doing work. It's another day at the office here for Forest Hills as the Rangers even things up yet again. You know, for 2 teams that have not seen at least a gameplay in regular season style here in the fall just yet, they're making it look like that they've taken all of that effort that was in the spring, Ari, falling to either side of the program of Lower Moreland and really running in haste and not wasting the opportunities when they can do. McDowell yet again being a lower buy. You see Melania with that Spectre. It's been improved a little bit. I refuse to believe that, but Forest Hills is looking very strong now.
Really just don't know. It feels like McDowell scraped away rounds in those 1v1. I mean, it's not really a flawless other than the anti-eco we saw. Now, maybe a different case, though, is that's going to be a showstopper that's launched into short and doesn't actually find anything. Blinds exchanged and oh no. Well, somehow Money Blipware goes down. Bacon Lover should be punished here. Yep, fully stunned. Yuri will take down with the classic. The Robotics Master following shortly behind them. Make a good run for this to make this one a bit more complicated than they expected. 41 HP, they might just be feeling the need to run. Well, full blind, 14 HP, and can get out of dodge.
Right around this corner, they're getting caught with, gadgets in hand, abilities going out. The Lear went behind them, Strike Force, the timing paying off. And they have a not dead yet as well. So, it's not just one, but call it an extra life here for the Rangers. They were already in the better bag of Arsenal. Yuri seeing what they can do, and it's not much. Strike Force finds a 4th, and the Rangers finally get themselves a lead here in this game.
How is it that we've had more 4Ks in this game than we've had rounds played? Like, how does that work? We've had 2 at least in the past 3, and then there was 1 that last one, and it's just like, okay, at this point, it's just whoever can pop off the most, which is ironically, you know, something we talk about where you're not able to rely on. But here in this case, if that's the momentum and how this game is shaping up, if you want to play that game because you're winning, go for it. If you're on the losing side, however, you might want to shape things up. I think both teams are still confident in their gunplay ability, hence why they're kind of keeping the same pace and everything going on up. But I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, a team falls a bit further behind than just 1 or 2 rounds. We might see them slow down.
This is definitely a momentum situation, especially when the Trojans have had to receive kind of those big pop-off moments that you were talking about, especially from out of Robotics Master. Forest Hills has 4 big ultimates to really hold sight. This gun round will be very telling for McDowell and the Trojans. Putting a Sky Smoke down, they're making it very tedious and very, I guess, meticulous for the way that you have to enter into B. Strike Force gets rid of Molten. That's because they press up a little bit too far, and actually they just literally lose the peak battle from out of that U-Haul. They're gonna run it down with some haste. They're bringing the bullets. Do they bring the pain? Do they expect them to be on back sight? They're getting bopped around, and somehow America's able to take it. They have Millennia America, the Eminem's crowd, just fine to this 2v2. Uh-oh.
Last player standing.
Somehow still punishing the Clove. That's nuts, by the way. The fact that you can still land that shot. 1 player with a rifle, the other spotted, and a bait for the other is perfect. Millennia with 3 here. And again, McDowell, the 2 site anchors that were here at the beginning are the ones to hold it down in the end. 4-4 tie. And I couldn't give you a prediction on who's coming out on top with this one.
Not yet, no. Let's see if anything changes into this arsenal. Strike Force has an operator. That may be all of an overheat idea. They're going to go back to a proper Vandal. But it's not like it's a great arsenal or a great weapon set here from McDowell, but that hasn't mattered. They've had low buys go to a single player remaining and still gotten numbers off of the Rangers. Same has happened from Forest Hills onto McDowell. And even with a player with a stinger, things look like it could be promising. Bacon Lover is going to aim to take advantage of the stun. They will get one spam kill. America does at least save their own life as they have to sacrifice Kermit. Bacon Lover wants to take advantage of the moment. The stun could come through. It doesn't trigger, but America eventually does find that trade. It becomes a 4v4, and they're mostly stuck in showers, but there is Strike Force here in short.
Very aggressive, a little bit too much for their own good, but Strike Force making up for it in short. The second angle required in order to split push this site, going very nicely. The triple player spotted. Robotics Master down though because of timings and angles. There's too many to look at, but now just one player left, and it's a 1 HP Molten behind triple who should have been still discovered and noted. Strike Force not letting that one skip their mind. They'll pick up 3. And McDowell dropping now to, I believe, their first deficit of the game.
It's second time. But even so, it's been so close, so tedious between both. The biggest lead that we've had was just the typical one that you get off the pistol at the very beginning of this game, a 2-0 from out of McDowell. Their retake hasn't allotted Forest Hills a lot of time to sit and ponder and think. You have to be quick, and that's really how the game has changed, especially with this being much more into gunplay. You don't get to set up for very long, a set and forget of your abilities and your gadgets. You must be responsive. The 5-man stack will see no one on the side of McDowell. Forest Hills is going to realize, ain't nobody home, we're going to march.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this was a gamble, kind of run it down anyway. The only reason you see their pushes get staved off in the first place is if there is some sort of resistance. That should be a big sign saying, hey guys, we're all going through this path area. And the blind catches that. They all line up. Bacon Lover wants to overheat and go for it. Shalia, 7 bullets. Just don't go down to the vine, please. 2 players remaining for them to possibly get their ace. But it's, well, not going to be given to them as not try hard will take you down. Not try hard, excuse you. You're at least KD farming here, and the Bucky can only do so much damage. Forest Hills, what a cinematic round.
Gonna be looking back on that round and wondering if they truly needed that investment of the Rolling Thunder. It's 1 ult point easier to obtain these days, but off of the flash, off of the aftershock, a ton of abilities that you didn't even have to funnel into sight with. You turn around and your opponents are just all in one spot. So McDowell on the gamble stack, it did not pay off. They still tried to catch the Rangers by surprise, but they were able to sniff them out. 10 rounds in, we got 2 rounds to go here in the first half, and it's 2 rounds up here for the Rangers.
Potentially a world where, of course, McDowell can bounce back into this one. But they're trying all the stops. They're trying to bring out everything, and it's been tough. Marika looking for that pixel angle, not even going to be given a shot, a lick of damage this time. Of course, they'll exchange utility and try and bait for this tripwire so they can grab a free kill off of that. But again, split push means a bit of trouble. 2 players holding out, but no smoke in sight, so they're gonna have to wait and swing on out when the timing is right. There's Yuri, Marika, and a showstopper to boot. That's 3 for you, and 2 more left remaining here in this one. But Strike Force has something to say about it. In fact, they might even call a pause, but that timer ticking as there is a flank going on.
Yeah, there's 2 coming up from behind. Strike Force is full focus down in lane. They have their teammate over in showers, and they want to be able to get over into that bomb. Doesn't matter right now as Tryhard is now left on an island. That's going to be a fault line. Won't get the aftershock to chase. But still, this is a rat in a trap, and the cats are prowling. Melania will finish things off. And this has the potential to be a fully tied first half before we flip things around. You know what? With the way that we've seen this right now, Ari, it's pure cinema. I do expect this one get tied up. Even seeing 15-8 and 13-7 out of Robotics and Strike Force, maybe even more because of that.
I mean, this round should effectively be a 6v5 if Forest Hills can, you know, run around, farm an orb, or get Clove the Plant, something of that sort. But McDowell on the other side, 3 ultimates, of course, 2 maybe not as crazily impact having, but still that neural theft can be good for a post-plant scenario. You can breach ult off of it. There should be so many plays for them to do. They just can't go down with those valuable ults. Otherwise, you're going to be kicking yourselves for that one.
So now as they take kind of this long, wide idea of putting Robotics and Tryhard onto this B site initiation, that draws out the Rolling Thunder. That's actually such a key plug to get rid of that ultimate. Now you know you can safely move over to A, and the only thing left is for Molten to really have an individual performance that pays off. They get it through the wall, so a little bit of a devour, but it only puts them up to 70 HP. Just in the meantime, their teammate does go down, so no neural theft, no information to gather further. Still knocking at the door are the Rangers. They could have a rotate out. Kermit might tell them they need to, but they're going to fully commit to planting a truck.
Spike planted.
Great kind of flash spot there. You saw the vision from Kermit, but instead maybe not even needed, as it's just the Reyna that is lurking in the shadows. They'll be sent to the shadows as well, and just like you mentioned, the tie game does in fact come through.
Well, we go all the way back around. All right, I need to know, looking at the compositions that we do have between these two teams, feels like both squads were running behind their strongest hand, especially when you consider 4 flashes, a lot of initiation, the ability to really kind of bulldoze your way through. But then the defense, the retake capability from out of McDowell had a lot of staying power. So now as we flip to what could kind of be their opposites, do we see as much speed be able to execute out of McDowell? Will they play this a lot more tentatively?
I mean, I feel like if McDowell do choose to speed up, you're going to see them lean a lot more towards this B site. And I'm not saying that just because they're postured there right now. I was already thinking it. But it's because of the fact that you have that Reyna Raze duo that you can break whatever thorns are there maybe on the sites. You can bait the wall over towards long, especially that being nerfed as well. And the Reyna just so good at solo scaling that it makes it worth it to kind of hold on to those nice long sight lines. But here we go. Shorty going to run out of bullets, though, and at least good for the first kill. But that nade lobbed over the top, and it will chip them out eventually. They will fall down in 3v3 when the dust initially settles.
Robotics trying to keep that Devour line as high and wide as they can. They didn't really get a lot of HP, but they got the shot off, as America was wondering where in the world that string was running. So right around the corner, Robotics waiting it out. One cam goes down. The damage has been told by their teammates, so Yuri is just opting to hold this elbow, but they do expose their back. Oh, on the timing, that will be one going down, and now the defense comes up. Forest Hills, they just really never left the site.
I mean, again, remember, Robotics in that final sort of seconds, like we saw them getting spotted out by the cam, all they need to do is live there, because if they force that fight, that Cypher is looking to force the fight, try and equalize numbers. So by not giving it to them, you're actively closing down on that timer that they have to kind of retake. You are causing them to make a play that really is going to be uncomfortable in any which way, and now they're kind of lost in the sauce because every avenue going to be covered by your teammates. McDowell unfortunately punished on the pistol here, but we've seen them bounce back before. It was 6-6 at one point, so Forest Hills, I'm going to say, as much as you think you have the advantage in this round, just be careful.
Not a you don't, but just like tentative. Like, be chill. It's okay. Don't rush it. Use a quick flashpoint just to clear that out, that corner, and try to use that metal to at least zone them out. So Strike Force, they were very much responsible for several different plays that gave advantage and opportunity to the Rangers on this attack. With the Razor Thorns going up, it'll at least be kind of a slowdown for anyone that wants to run that short, but everyone's all in with a flank watch. Oh, Robotics Master will just level Molten, and now they go straight to dueling.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up that Sheriff here and most likely going to overheat. Say, why not? I mean, yeah, that's your smokes down, but the smokes will come up back on cooldown. You're only dropping a Sheriff. Sure, good enough. Fight for that space. You don't even need to necessarily trade because you want to hold that economy back in your favor. But there's the chip out from Robotics. Just a body shot is all that it will take. Mini Blooper now just needing one more bullet, and they will find it as well. So Millennia, a Kuronami Sheriff in hand, the spike as well, but 4 players to beat, 3 headshots at least required out of that. And I have to wish you the best of luck, but it doesn't seem like this one's going to be going your way that easily. There's at least the first, but meeting the Outlaw bullet to the face next. That'll be 3 kills for Robotics Master in the second round of the half for Forest Hills.
That Outlaw is such a save round slayer. It's so good at taking down players that just are not buying nothing. You've got no shield, you got no, well, problems if you're on the side of Forest Hills. So McDowell now will see what a bonus looks like as they go into their buy, and the Rangers are looking pretty darn strong. You do have at least 1 buy up into, well, actually maybe a couple, as you have some rifles. So even with that, it looks like Forest Hills is going to be in a pretty strong position because you do have 1 Spectre thrown over to the Trojans. They are aiming to go into the bundle, right back over towards this hookah. So far, I've cast my doubts. It's been the first couple of rounds towards this attack. Robotics Master, oh, they're trying to land both those shots. They at least get 1 body.
No Sky heal for them on the other side, right? Forest Hills having that luxury. And actually, the Sky Mini Blooper grabbing a kill for themselves as well. McDowell, their push. They wanted a 5 hookah push, and it just was not given to them. Marika at least finding one well on 1 HP, but Bacon Lover, nice Bulldog headshot. The snap almost there onto the second, but Millennia at least gonna chip you on down with that Guardian. And remember, now here comes the rotate, and here should be a chance, but I don't know if I would have even hit that shot. A full run and gun with the Phantom and stimmed. Yeah, you know what? You can say that was pretty unlucky on your part.
That's a Lambo swing if I've ever seen one. Just drifting all the way out.
Meow.
Strike Force going to be seeing if they can catch timing, and they very much will. Oh, the trigger discipline. Making sure that they get the full plant occurring. America and Melania, the Eminem combo will go down this time around. This is so far, at this point, the largest lead that we have seen of this game. And this is when I'm starting to wonder that first half. Both teams playing to their strength. Walking the opposite side, McDowell seems to be stuttering.
Yeah, it just feels like they had a really nice idea of, you know, when to go spread and when to fight as a unit, but here their kind of only plan has been to fight as a unit, and that gets a bit obvious when you're on the attack. And you know, there's so many avenues that are covered by Forest Hills. You're not even sniffing out those flanks. There's no util even going to the other side. It's maybe a 4-1 if you're lucky. And so that's why it's just these solo fights that happen earlier are just even more costly, because you can pick up one and then get on out. Of course, Robotics Master just going to take a bunch of damage, but you still maintain the rifle, and that's kind of the important one in this round.
There's ever an agent that you want to be the one that has to take that chip damage, it definitely is your Reyna, as they can get that Devour off, and they're going to do so right now. America hoping to disrupt some of that, as it does provide the overheal for the moment. Robotics Master on top of Tube. They've been lingering one into short over towards A. So with that in mind, we're keeping some Overwatch, but this is a long push-up B long, as Bacon Lover just tests if anyone was else at home.
I mean, I like what they're doing on the A site with the lurk, but unfortunately it's like a breach. So you're kind of just trying not to commit because you need that heavy site execution. They are baiting at least one player over towards A, but again, they're down one. They don't really have that information, and they have lost a lot of space on the map. Make that shower be long, and they don't even really have hookah at this point either. They're kind of just playing this guessing game. Kermit gonna take a big gamble and get out of dodge very luckily.
Flash comes in. Robotics Master. They got the full face of that. They're trying to spam through the wall. America eventually gets revenge from earlier. The fault line comes out. That may pay off. But Bacon Lover does eventually drop to the doppelganger. So guns are starting to drop. Trading hands from the Rangers to the Trojans. This plant will come through. They're going to use the Aftershock to zone anyone out that wants to go through hookah. And suddenly the Rangers are at a disadvantage.
Expecting to see that Trailblazer be used over towards hookah. Tryhard needs to wait for those teammates in hookah to make a move. If that move is never made, you're gonna be feeling the pain. Mini Blooper does go for the peak though by themselves, and so that'll be another player just completely removed from their efforts. You can go for one Strike Force, but you need a few more here, and that clock is ticking. You need to find the spam, find out the positionings. It's gonna be tough. You got too many corners to clear. Tryhard finds the other side of the bullet. The unlikely one for their successes. And a Thrifty comes out for McDowell here in what was a shambles of momentum for them.
It was. I mean, you saw all three slip, the bonus round go and flourish for Forest Hills, and now everything's brought back to a calm. McDowell and the Trojans, they have enough to be able to buy. It looks like Tryhard is looking for options of what they want to walk into this with. They're thinking about abilities, thinking about a Guardian, some half shields, and suddenly this is a turn where McDowell might be able to get at least an extra round off of it, depending on how this execution goes. Like you mentioned before, that was the first time they'd actually gone away from having a 5-man stack.
Mini Blooper, though, I gotta be worried. We've seen this position been played in multiple times. And you have to wonder, when did these McDowell players start to catch on, whether it be a paint shell, a rolling thunder, something of that sort, and that's a big chunk of damage. Nobody even covering the player while dugging, so that'll be some costly HP expended early into the round, but we'll see the pivot over towards a short. That blind might catch on to the sky. It does, but it doesn't matter. Strike Force at least finding the bullets to catch on, and so Forest Hills trying to make up for that last round.
Like Tryhard actually did much more of a save offered to this buy. They see 3 separate targets and a retreating Reyna. So Molten gets their shoulder peaked, but they're still able to speak the tail. Their Arc Rose is back up here for Tryhard. Might be able to find at least some extra information. They do so by 2 blind players. So it's 5 standing strong and tall here for the Rangers. Oh, but they're getting caught off guard and by surprise on this flank sandwich from out of garden. You have Robotics Master just chilling, waiting for their time. They get rid of Melania, and they're going to do it twice.
Yeah, Robotics Master literally just watching that raise go into elbow, and they should be aware that this player is elbow. I think the comm just was forgotten, maybe a little delayed there. Either way, Marika still a very tough task for themselves, and it might just be a save play, maybe go for as much damage as possible. Spotted the one player, though, the reswing on out. Bacon Lover will feel the bullets inside, and that showstopper surely not going to be used here. Marika not even going to get out, and that'll be 7-10. Forest Hills up by 3 once again.
Suddenly the 10 pops up and everyone's eyes go, ooh. Everyone's shoulders start to clench up and no one's relaxed. 4 ultimates online for McDowell, and they definitely need to execute off of this one. They have 3 fantastic sight clearing and pressuring ultimates between their brim, their raise, and their breach. Feels like that's where they need to start really executing into this. Whereas Forest Hills, they can kind of sit pretty for a second. That one was on a lesser buy, and it's definitely a lesser buy right now for the Trojans.
I mean, if we're going to simplify this very, very down, right, McDowell, if they use those ultimates to get in, Forest Hills should have that breach ult to go back and retake. But does the ult mean effectively a kill? Not necessarily. You're going to find that out right now as Robotics just gets rid of the util and then lands the shot afterwards. Make that a second one. They won't find anything more as the run gun a bit too strong, but the Rolling Thunder used maybe a tad even too late. Both flashpoints going to have to be extended here. Nope, just the first, but now the bullet transfer not going to land. McDowell with one left, and that Rolling Thunder expended needs to be the key to success. This Clove very low, and still ducks under the bullets to make Kermit feel the pain.
Hey, Ari, you were saying that you don't want to become a ducking shooter, but I feel like ducking is the way now. We've seen it be drag steps. We see it now off of a not dead yet. Embrace the duck. Get the squats going, you know? Just make it work.
Don't you make me get out my ducks in a row again. I will do it.
Are they not still there?
They are still there.
Okay, yeah, about to say, they're there. Okay. I would be sad if the ducks in a row were a 1 week thing. Like, come on. But, speaking of 1 week things, the first week of actual gameplay between these two, then a barn burner, but it looks like Forest Hills is trying to go full form. They fell out in the top 16 of states. They don't want to have that be the same thing here. You have an Empress on either side. Which queen will reign supreme?
Just tanking that Thorn. Holy cow, Yuri just realizing the space that they have because of that neural theft. Actually not a bad play when you think about it at the end of the day. Costly in HP, but you gain the whole site for it. You got to be happy with that. This is a Bulldog, by the way, looking at Heaven. And I have to feel for you. I don't like the Bulldog spray, and certainly you don't either after that one. Try hard will take you on down with just 1 bullet of their own. And now the 2 players, 3rd if you count that Brim, but now the Brim ultimate most likely going to be used on this tap here. Kermit prepping the flashpoint. Gonna be waiting for the right opportune moment. The timing, the swing on up and out. Doesn't even see anybody on that spike. So now just an extra few moments. Kermit, the spray transfer, it's not there. Now the stick potentially on a half. No, not even gonna be needed. Kermit with 4 here. McDowell are not out yet.
That's massive. Kermit was put, all the pressure in the world was put on Kermit's shoulders to hold that basically sentinel position of guarding their brim, making sure that Melania does not have to use that orbital strike too early, and having to have their entire kit available to themselves as well. Using that flashpoint in counter to the Lear, popping from out of Robotics Master, and then just being able to go and step into that gunfight. Job well done for the Trojans to hold their nerve, keep calm, and keep in this game.
B-site, I feel like, has been giving slightly more luck to McDowell, but maybe that's just me and recency bias of the last round we saw. Either way, Robotics Master gonna find the first in similar fashion to the last few. Overheating, though, and not gonna be happy with their result. They'll feel a bullet to the face. Showstopper reaching to the side, but the bullets will clean them up. And 4 players remaining for McDowell. Make that 2 ultimates. They have that Rolling Thunder back. Maybe grab themselves 1 more, but Kermit's gonna give you a big old owie. That's a lot of HP removed from your face. And spotting them once again. They might even just choose to run it down. Yuri swinging on through, does land the kill. Ground spray onto the second is good. And what have you got, Strike Force? It's an Odin, and you're spotted on out, and you're feeling a lot of spam. I might just want to run away and save this one if I were you.
The world champion MVP of VCT used the Odin. Strike Force believes in it. They want to have it be just the same. But I feel like this is a call too far for them to answer. So they will have to step a little further out if they don't want to die to the bomb. They will at least attempt to hold on to this. They will get stunned. This actually may be Kermit taking it on, and they do. So they take down Miss Piggy and Strike Force together, and it's suddenly 9-11. That was Kermit the Frog, ladies and gentlemen. They stepped into the booth. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let you simmer on that one. I'm gonna just leave it down a moment of silence. I'm gonna make you feel that pain there.
What do you mean pain? I was born into this cringe, okay?
Okay, all right. Forest Hills up 11-9 and actually going for the save. They might have had enough to force out something, but they want to just make sure they can secure that 12 when they're ready for it. Trying to bait out as many ults from McDowell here as they can in this moment, but easier task said than done. That's going to be a lot of utility expended towards this short U-Haul area, and Kermit's going to jump right out, meeting the face of a Bucky mini Booper, though somehow the first one to grab the kill for the Forest Hills side. That'll be the only kill as the rest of the players will start to crash the site.
I'm starting to feel the moon come a little bit closer to the earth because the tide is definitely turning in favor of the Trojans. Robotics Master is tagged out and Kermit is bagging him out. 10-11. Remember in the green room here, Ari, when I said, oh, I don't think we'll be, feeling some longer games today? How wrong was I? How wrong am I in this moment? Both these teams, state championship level teams that went to rounds of 16 and 8, definitely show up in this first match of their entire fall league.
Well, I'd say that's probably an 0 for 1 for you on your predictions, but hey,
yeah.
me, I'm keeping track, by the way. Like, I'm actually writing them down. I have a sheet, and I'm 3 for 3 right now in all official predictions that I've made. So maybe I'm just built different. Maybe you're just a little silly, huh?
I'm just built weird. That's how it is. Built strange. Built like Mega Blocks.
Sometimes that's what it takes, though. I mean, we're seeing a player of Robotics Master be a little weird. Pardon my French, I guess. But weird is 4Ks every freaking round. I mean, what else do you want me to say? That was weird.
That was weird. That was an idea. I'm not exactly sure about. So the call was, let's all rotate together. But Mini Booper just kind of ran it short. There must have been some piece of intel that told them, yo, we should just move to B. They are not here. That was wrong. Aftershock is going to be employed here into lamps. America will be holding this core, and apparently every single piece of util. And suddenly this defensive retake is becoming nasty. It's a 2v2.
One enemy remaining.
That was disgusting from Marika, by the way. Just dodging every single piece of that utility, especially against the Breach, who's been having a fun game, but Kermit as well. The Breach on the other side, having stepped up in the past few rounds. They'll have another Rolling Thunder to boot here. 11-11. The game is tied.
Kermit has shown up in these last 4 rounds. You see that 4 sprung out in a row. That was the difference between these two teams, being literally 2 away from being able to put away this game. Forest Hills suffers in silence as McDowell puts them down. You've got the Orbital Strike and Rolling Thunder still online now for the Trojans. Steel Garden and that good old Empress that has been used time and again. That does get popped now by Robotics. I was expecting that to happen. They need to actuate off of that. Cannot see them dying early if Forest Hills wants to regain control.
I mean, I don't know why they're not posted up on the aggro angle, because right now you're putting your Clove there with maybe a Ansem. Well, okay, never mind. You know what? You can go for whatever plays you want. I'm just always wrong, apparently. Strike Force, good for 3, potentially 4 if they can land the spam, but no. Going down, they're going to pop that. Not dead yet. Yep, absolutely. Right corner, though, selected. And chipped on down to 40 HP, but 1 bullet is going to be needed in order for them to come back to life here. The spam may be good. It's 1 bullet needed. They got it. Oh, boy. No overheal just quite yet, but 1 player to beat. It's Kermit, who's been on a tear, like you mentioned. The spam, it comes through the wall, and Kermit, again, the savior. McDowell, how have you done it 5 times in a row?
Match point.
The one thing that we're missing on this wonderful Valorant cake is an ace. And it looked like, to try and answer the doubt in that corner, cast by Ari upon the Clove, was Strike Force priming themselves to be the hero. And unfortunately for the Rangers, they're seeing that be Kermit instead on the side of the Trojans. They've got the Neural Theft. The Rolling Thunder got used, but it's the showstopper that might be cruising through. 5 rounds in a row. Can they make it 6 for the ultimate comeback to finish?
You know what? I'm so down for this. If you can time this util correctly, maybe dunk in the smoke. Oh, well, that's gonna be your secrets revealed. I don't know about committing to this. Do you know? Fine, sure, they're reloading. This is definitely heard. Where is the awareness? Oh my gosh, it's a jumping kill. Picks up the Odin. The MVP of champs is here, but look as well, McDowell trying to turn it in their own tides. Sure to complete bloodbath in their favor. Strike Force spraying and praying, and they do land it on. It's the clutch for Strike Force, and OT will be.
2 4Ks back to back. We're gonna need to go back and figure out how many 4Ks. Did you count? Did you count, Ari? How many 4Ks we had this game? This entire both these halves?
At least 4.
At least 4.
At least 4.
A collection. A 30 bomb dropped by Kermit. Simply wouldn't be denied, but neither would the Rangers. In case all of you have forgotten how OT works, or this is your first time ever seeing Valorant or seeing an overtime therein, welcome. We have 3 players across both these teams that have 30 bombs. Strike Force, Robotics, Kermit, color me surprised. McDowell looked like they were down and out. Clearly we're not. They got to match point first. Now we flip back to original halves.
So what you're saying is Marika needs to get 30.
It's true.
Let's just get 4 people?
Yeah.
That'd be 7 kills, so I need to have a few pop-off moments or let this one stall out a little bit longer. But we know both teams want to end it as quick as possible, secure the W. And that nade is going to maybe catch on. Yes, it will. I didn't think it was far enough, but it did make its way there. Good football throwing practice yesterday. Marika, good job.
Just, you know, it's like, Coach asked me if I could throw over them our mountains, and I said, yeah. That's going to be 2 down. Oh, off of the Aftershock. The abilities are paying off right now. Kermit's going to try and low foot flash and see if anyone's off that corner. So they're going to save this next one for re-entry, telling everyone not to look. Maybe they can get rid of one. Robotics Master will drop. They eventually get stunned away, just praying that no one will shoot at him. Bacon Lover and Tryhard, they regain a little bit more. America finds a wall bang, and it's all up to Tryhard. But America showing up and match point again here in the first OT. This one for the Trojans.
Did they hear me? Did Marika listen? That was what, 3, right? Okay, looking at maybe 4 more. I mean, sure, it would be a shame not to see 30 bombs from 4 people, but now still McDowell will certainly take the win if they can get it. A strand of 5 rounds stopped by a Forest Hills speed bump and a Strike Force Odin to boot, but now 1 round separating them from the victory, something they haven't seen all map, and it's kind of a shame to say that when we realized how strong they were out of the gate.
And Forest Hills be able to hold it down. You're going to see this early duel by Robotics Master. It's been a lot of Robotics Master, but you had noted that they actually had traded positions between them and Strike Force. Now putting out the early flash, it ends up being Kermit that kind of at least pushes their teammate back. So Robotics will do the same thing. This is all downhill running for McDowell, but they are very hurt. Robotics Master will stay close proximity as everyone tries to get their numbers up.
Big pause called out here. McDowell, though, chipped down to very low HP and not even a budge on those rotates from Forest Hills on A. They are saying, we don't care. We're going to stick to our hold. We trust the players on the B site, the overheal available for them if they do end up getting one. But Robotics, however, does not. Strike Force barely getting out of dodge. And wow, that's just spam. Bacon, you love to see it. Make that 3, looking for 4. And Marika will only get the 1. We're going to continue on OT number 2 right after this.
Switching sides.
Almost feel like a Cartoon Network commercial was supposed to flow through that moment. So we go to double overtime. Forest Hills, keynote, whenever they did lose to Lower Moreland in the Sweet 16 of the state championships, it was a 2-0, but it was both games went to double overtime. So this team has seen depth happen before. In more recency, the last time that they literally played in PIEA, they fell to a 15-13. They don't want that to happen again, but it's only BO1 this time around. Trojans, well, they fought hard against the eventual state champions of Lower Moreland on the other side of the sister suite of that awesome program. They're going to try and receive this Forest Hills group. Looks like they're converging again along B.
See the vision here, but Careful, you might get wall banged out. Yep, that cage gonna be very nice for them. The second one as well to maybe get out if they choose to do so. But this is a fake, and somehow nobody has budged from that A site, right? Just the Reyna floating back and forth in spawn. That's honestly the most reasonable response we've seen so far. Both teams not going to give up on their rotates that quickly. There's the Reyna blind. Odin on out, and spray gonna be very heavy done. We've seen this one before. Mini Booper will not fall to it this time though, and so the kills will be given over to Melania. That's gonna be a molly out towards Showers, and the lurk over towards B. Keep your eyes on it. That'll be one battle that goes the way of Kermit, but Mini Booper now gonna have to make up for it over here. There's the first bullet. Does not want to transfer onto the second one. Goes for the repeat. Marika with the Odin, and two more players stand for Forest Hills. That might have been 40 or pretty dang close to it. I'm not quite sure.
They want to rotate again.
For 30.
They're also very tentative about
left.
having to do this again across open spaces. They're making McDowell think. Can they drag players away without having to do much? That's going to be the camera that does give them away. Bacon Lover will be running up. Do they expect Kermit to be right around the corner? No, it's a flash for flash. No one can say anything. They're all stunned up. There's a timer. 12 seconds. Who's going to get match point from right around the corner? Melania has a chance. They have to commit on the plant. They do so, but at what cost? Their life. Melania will stand strong, and that means the Trojans will go back to having that one in their pockets. Does Forest Hills shake at the possibility of dropping 13-15 again?
Let me see it. Is it 39 or 29 or is it 30? 28. Oh, so still room.
Okay.
2 more kills for Marika to maybe get that 30, join the club as well. Melania, somebody that we've seen kind of that Eminem duo, like we were saying, slowing down a bit towards the end, but still room to get 20 here, which would be a nice feat as well. McDowell just looking for any sort of way they can to secure this round, because we've seen it go back and forth for the past 5 or 6 rounds. Now you need to change something up, or at least keep doing what you're doing, be more consistent, land that extra bullet, and you might just give yourselves the map win.
Look at this big split that we're getting right now. They're going to down check into hookah, send just a couple, use that boom bot. They don't find anyone off corner, and the rest of the numbers are hanging out for short, seeing if anyone just oversteps just a little bit too much. Robotics Master is caught. That one all the way down long B. And even with that pick, look how they're converging together. They're going to just streamline themselves into this short position. Now there is the Razor Thorns. Mini Booper off angle. If they are not ready for it, they might find themselves on this cross, but Mini Booper is blinded out. They eventually get one, and that's a couple drop to make it a 3v3.
3v2 now. Millennia's Odin sings on out. Strike Force, though, we've seen this one before. Surely not deja vu again, right? Running potentially to that TP, but no, the decay going through, and that's just a crowd spray with the Odin. That one a bit more potent than the rifle. And 2 now spraying out this player from the box. Marika, though, somehow managed to get out, but it does not matter. Somehow we keep on going. I cannot believe it. I cannot.
Switching sides.
History is changing. Forest Hills wants to rewrite the books. We will go to triple overtime. Again, both these teams saw the top 32 in different ways as well between their separate rounds where they fell out in the spring semester. Looking at that state championship, you know that they have unfinished business. They want to continue to improve, and apparently everyone's showing up. One short of getting a 30, by the way. One short. America's just, they're tasting it.
Launching smoke.
Maybe. Grenade here, potentially. Let's see it. I got no much to really say other than that, because we've seen the same thing happen over and over and over. It's eventually somebody to step up to the case, and Molten with a nice sort of opener. We haven't quite seen that from them too often, so that is a nice kind of way to bounce back in this map, especially when it matters later into this game. Satchel's out for Marika, jumping onto the box, and there's the kill. That's the 30. Congrats, but now the round needs to be next. The stun on through. Never mind, it's a flash, but there's one, and that'll be all she wrote for you. McDowell again, another convincing retake on this defensive side. And when will this pace change? I don't know.
This is McDowell's 4th match point. 1 that was held in regulation, and 3 that were held in overtime, Ari. It's eventually, you would think that they got to finish the job, but Forest Hills is proving to be dauntless in the face of adversity. 35, 31, 36, and 30. Kermit, America, Strike Force, and Robotics Master, respectively. So we do have 4 30 bombs at least out there.
Now I'm starting to look at the 40s now, though. It's been enough
race
rounds.
to 40.
We got 35, 36. I mean, if it were to end here, we'd need both fantastic performances, but hey, you talked about that cherry on top. We might get the 2 4Ks on out, and then the 5th one for the ace and the victory. I mean, that would be poetic in its own right, but look at this. The change of all changes. It's a pause. We can breathe.
Not going down in distance. They're going to make Forest Hills sweat. You can execute around that 40-second mark and give yourself plenty of time. Biggest change up to get in the gameplay and the gunplay is about how the speed has changed. Mini Booper is going to get caught. They're going to flash themselves, seeing nothing, and they still survive? No! Molten and Kermit. They make this one an advantage for Forest Hills. Well, rather, for the Trojans, they do strike up into heaven. They don't get the pick-me-up, and the Odins are being laid down. It's only Robotics Master left.
Off your feet!
They're aware, but they missed the ult. No way. Potential punish onto 2. There's those. Completely done and dusted. And now 1 player left. The plant's not even for them, so they're going to need to pick a timing off of this swing. There's going to be the stick on a half. Yep, you absolutely have to believe it. But now it's a spam game. Now a little bit more to the left. Nope, squeak over a bit more. No way, Jose. Somehow, at 15-15, we keep on going. And Yuri, congrats on the consolation kill, but we need this one to be a win by 2, not a win by 1.5.
Okay.
The good news is that the 40 bomb on either side dream is alive and well. Quadruple overtime. 38 for Kermit, 37 for Strikeforce. Both those players showing up after it was actually some big performances by the players that were just underneath them. Robotics Master still kind of a mini boss out there. With America and Melania, those two played wonderfully with one another in regulation time. So far, the key thing that's been missing from the piece of the pie for Forest Hills is getting the match point. They've been able to sniff it. They've only just been close.
That's a lot of bullets.
It's a lot.
And nobody there to really receive them. No sort of scare from anyone. Granted, they are just kind of holding that space, making sure they don't walk into it, because you assume that next time the smoke does go down, you're going to feel that Odin spray once more. There's Serena blind out. Be careful, though. Long-range Odin is not the best. You want to have it a little bit more centered towards those chokes. But, oh, that's going to be a bit of a close angle for Robotics Master. And now the Odin, we've seen this one before. Granted, the sides were swapped, and there's that pixel angle. Make it number 1. Spotted the player on bench, but I don't think they actually did. So maybe a weakness to come on through. Yes, Strike Force will punish that one. And a 2 versus 4, you might have talked about Strike Force up to 40, but now propelling them to a potential first map point that they're feeling. It's just Kermit who's forcing this one out, and the spam is good. Sure, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Forest Hills now with the upper hand.
For the first time this game, and perhaps the only time necessary for the Rangers, they've gotten match point. It has been
240s.
It's 240s. This is Christmas in its most cursed form here, Ari. We've got 40 bombs on either side. Everyone hit 30 at one point, and now we go into the first match point for the Rangers. Can they acquire 17? Can they finish this off in 32 rounds to finally take down the Trojans? An even fight that this has been. Eventually the dam's got to break because the pressure is building.
I mean, if we're looking at that score line still of the kills and the deaths, I'm looking at Mini Blooper to maybe sneak out 2 more, get to double digits this round. I believe Bacon Lover needing 1 more for 20, so you got to look at those milestones as well, since we're highlighting everybody. But yeah, Forest Hills, you've worked so hard for this advantage. And McDowell, I think, kind of letting that advantage slip, changing their playstyle up, getting too much in their own heads, and it ends up costing them the previous round. Molten, no. Time's tested. Sprout spray out. The reactions are there. So there we go. McDowell, that first blood once again.
Molten had first ideas, first looks. They just had to wait for a proper angle to kind of work things out. They're going to use that aftershock to clear that topside corner, and Tryhard does have an Odin, so prepare for spam, prepare for off angle. Kermit, do they know that just nearby is actually Mini Booper, I think, over into that corner again? That seems to be where they want to live. They have a tendency to, and now Kermit knew that. Gotta even things up. Strike Force on the Odin will chop down at least 1. Trojans still have the single numbers advantage, and now that's laid even. You got 2 Odins. Molten right around the corner, man. You heard him. That doesn't matter. Kermit will take care of business. We go to quintuple overtime.
You know, in the green room, I said as long as it's not that Envy and TSE game, or I believe that's the team that they played. I forget what exactly the acronym was, but it was 19-17. And I said, as long as it doesn't go 19-17, we'll be good. I'm starting to feel a little worried. It's been 5 overtimes so far. I'm not surprised if it goes another 3 or 4. And McDowell, I mean, they salvaged the round last time. But again, remember, there's more games going on after this. You're telling me that they're going to have to live up to the hype of this?
Good luck. 13-0.
I really hope not. I really hope not.
40-round game to a 13-round game. It's going to be... Oh, you know what? Both these teams are getting a lot of good scrimming right now, regardless of what you want to consider this to be. Millennia has an Odin. They also have a stem, which means this thing is going to be shooting crazy fast. They get one scan, they get another one, and they have one person that's getting the plants off right around the corner. Just keep holding that left click button, baby. Millennia, they actually get a teammate off their angle. Kermit is able to lay him down. Does a flawless happen for the first time in OT? Yes, it do. McDowell will have a 5th chance at ending this.
Switching sides.
I wish I could be excited about that. Like, oh, yay, flawless. That's cool. We've never had that happen in OT, which granted has been a lot of rounds, but also we've said that Forest Hills never got their match point first, and look how that ended up. So as much as it's a nice showing, and as much as I want to give you the hopium, I'll be that negative Nancy, and I'll say, guess what? You did it that time, but you need to do it again now. And we've said that before. We'll say it again if it keeps happening. But what is it that you're going to do differently this time that gets you across the line?
They've been patient to start off a lot of these pushes. They definitely want to force Forest Hills to be their own worst enemy. And look how that's actually been punished a time or two. Already you get Robotics Master and Strike Force. They're 2 best players all the way down long B. And they're looking for this angle. They get it onto Molten. So clearing the first one. Do they do it again? Robotics Master is going to shut that door via a full stream of bullets, and look how they are chasing them down. This is collectively hunting, suppressing, and pinching the Trojans from either side.
Oh, Mini Blooper, I'm so sorry. You had to feel the paint chill. It's brutal. But this pinch out from Robotics is even more. Forest Hills not going to give this one up easy, and this is a great position for them to be in. Robotics, honestly, just live. Don't even force it. You're in a great spot. That trip gonna get in their way. They'll break it. They'll give up their notice that they might be walking in soon, and there's a Cypher waiting for them right on this box. Try hard. Well, it doesn't even matter. Yuri just takes them on down. And now just the 1 player left. They're not gonna stand long for all. And look at that. I'm so surprised. Another OT.
Overtime.
6 double overtime. All right, cool.
We talked about 30. We talked about 40.
Yeah.
That could be 50.
The only time I've seen 50 bombs in a proper game that I was able to cast, it was a 40 round. So I think that's octuple. Oh, is that octuple? I think. Overtime and it was a breach on either side. Each got 50. Well, Kermit might be able to repeat at least some of that into Breach World. So far, keeping things at least zesty are both these squads. Forest Hills, they're going to be marching. They've decided, you know what? It's just gun game. Put an aftershock to the corner. Deny them at least that off angle. And play it from Tetris and from short, but they're actually planting for truck.
This is something we've seen them do over and over, but, you know, when that tap starts to go through, I have a feeling Molten's going to be spamming that angle, just kind of waiting for it. And there's the tap, but it's down on a default. Molten will swing out, but at the wrong angle. 4 versus 3, make that 3 versus 3. The Odin sings out once again. And that flash going to tag onto 1, but not enough to grab an extra kill. And now the timing just found. Mini Blooper will fall. And now making it a 2v2, but effectively a 3v2 if you count the Strike Force. Ultimate not even needed. 3 kills for Strike Force, 18 for Forest Hills. And now it's their time to go and give a strike at this pinata.
All right. You're going to get a second attempt. Forest Hills. They like to play from that slightly elevated angle from out from that A push of showers. And I feel like that's only because that's one of the few things that has not been read from the Trojans' defense. Everything else has been surmised. But something about that one creates just enough of a wrinkle. This is the same old song and dance for Strike Force and for Robotics Master, but for the first time in a while. They will see no resistance, no contacts, no skirmish over there on B. Everyone's just conga line from here on the Trojans straight to A.
Oh my gosh, everyone funneled into the short angle, and somehow it's a 2 for 2. It looked like Forest Hills really had the jump on that one, but the high-low coming over towards this Vice, not tryhard in showers, proving that this might be an extra thorn in their side, but Crash since it's Vice to deal with.
Oh.
But it looks like the TP catching onto one. Oh, maybe timings galore. Surely one player will fall. And yes, it is going to be Molten meeting the bullets of Robotics. Forest Hills just trying to give themselves an extra breath of life, but it will be taken straight away. As Kermit now actually the only one left to do this. But again, that Rolling Thunder just going to be used to stave off the push, counter out the blind. 2 Odins left to deal with if you count the 2 on the floor, that is. That gun barrel spotted, by the way, from CT.
Ooh. It's a tough position to have to be in. They catch him jumping, going for the next target. 17 HP in a dream. You gotta land the headshot. They do! Are you kidding me with the ace? Kermit! They keep their team alive off of a pixel perfect peek. They puncture their way into a septuple overtime.
Beauty is that was also for 52.
Oh my goodness.
They got 50 kills. They save their team in the round. They get an ace. Everything that we asked for. It comes to fruition in one single round. Round 36, mind you. We could have played 2, even 3 games at this point. Pretty coming up close to. Ah, man. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Playing together in that final positioning, we could talk about, those little things of, just play for the trade, but it's in that moment where you're not really focused on that anymore. You're just focused on getting this game over with whatever you got to do, and it's kind of costing these teams that fatigue setting in, the yips, if you will, having players push up a little bit too far, more than they should.
It's that whole, there's no way that this can continue going on, right? Type of mood, type of feel. You start just kind of tossing things willy-nilly. The discipline goes out the window, and that's when your coaches and your players and your IGLs have to be able to keep themselves focused. So much easier said than done. Strike Force will get the first kill as they get rid of Molten, and they're aiming to have that not dead yet, having that extra lifeline. America will answer in kind by getting rid of their main duo and Tryhard, the 2 last survivors that fell in the previous round. It becomes a 4v2 in a hurry. They get it from off the exploding blast pack. They get it with a showstopper, and now it goes right back into the hands of McDowell.
Marika, that's 4 for them on the round. I believe that's 40 for them. Nope. Okay. Not even close. Well...
I mean, it's close-ish.
Yeah, it's close-ish. We're getting there. But again, I mean, how many more rounds is this game gonna last? I would say 1, but that's been wrong many times. So, okay, I'm gonna call a strat right now. I'm gonna say 5-man, B long, McDowell, and you win. I low-key think that is the way to victory.
Look at the difference in the way that they're lining up on the side of Forest Hills. Robotics Master and Strike Force not in that B-long position. Solo holding his Bacon Lover. They've told him to basically play for life and get the spam.
They are going heavy towards B-long. The Bacon Lover with that spam could be deadly. They just need to get out of that first choke point. They should be good. They have plenty of flashes to deal with it. The satchel on in, but we're waiting for that satchel. It's actually a fake. And now the timing granted for this Vice, no way, right? Tryhard should be good for at least 2 if they can get on, but maybe not quick enough. They'll still have the timing. They will be the wild card in this matchup, but it's all going to count down to who looks behind them, how many do they get, and that TP, it gives up their lurk, but it doesn't even matter. There's 2, 1 more player standing, and it's 1 bullet left needed, but Millennia still staying alive somehow. It'll be Strike Force with 2, and finally, the game is over. McDowell, 20-18. How have they done it? How?
Odins and resilience. 38 rounds, septuple overtime, a 50 bomb, a pairing of 30 bombs, and even with Strike Force hitting 47, all that Robotics can say is that was insane. And you know what? It was. Job well done for being able to play through and keep yourselves going to both of these teams. Forest Hills ends up dropping not to a double OT this time around. It took 3.5 times more of that. So regardless, good looks. But I mean, at that point, when you're just playing that deep, where you're talking about the pros doing it, when these awesome students are doing here, Ari, it just comes down to, all right, let's just finish this dang game.
I mean, you could look at the scoreboard and you could be like, oh my gosh, 6 first bloods, 7 first bloods. That's so amazing. Yeah, if it was maybe a 13-6 round count or something like that in a normal score line. But everyone had 6 to 5 to 7 scores in terms of those first bloods. Just truly insane. I mean, the death count, I think even for one player was close to 30. I don't think it was all the way there, but I think 29 on one of them. So just absurd that you play that many rounds, you still come out on top. Just a whole bunch of everything going on. And like we mentioned during the broadcast, we still have more games after this. We have, I think, 2 more series if we're still on schedule, and they haven't even started their game yet, hopefully.
We're definitely not on schedule, but that doesn't mean that we can't take a break. We've definitely got at least one, maybe both. We'll see how the schedule pans out. PIA obviously showing up today here for week 3 of the fall 2025 semester. Shout out to the esports company TEC, putting our faces in your spaces. We'll be taking a short break right now. Kick up, relax, more right after this.
Go ahead and beat me.
Dreams collide in sleepless nights. Stars explode through blinding lights. Victories found in the fight. I'm on top, my soul ignites. Life's a game, we learn the rules. Twist and turn like misfit fools. Through the pain, we break the chains. Find the win through loss and gains. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race, I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Castles built on hope's foundation. Rivers run with pure elation. Through the storm I'll find my way. Triumph shines like break of day. Tides may turn but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Tides may turn, but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end, the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race, I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. dancing in their line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. We built these walls so we could find who could prove themselves to the waves of time. We're trying to repent before you sin. It's like giving up before you begin. Stars were dancing in their line, past that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in their line, the future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry, it was bone dry. Thought another goal is all we needed. Taking second chances till we bleed. And when all the love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in that line, past that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high.
A lot of Valorant just got played, and even more is about to be played. Welcome back to your Wild Wednesday here for PIEA. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside Ari. We had 38 rounds. 38 rounds. And that was game one. Game two set to go right in front of you guys as we got the Spartans versus the Streaks. And both these teams, they're 1-1 currently through 2 weeks of play.
I really hope everyone watching is a bind enjoyer, because we saw 38 rounds of bind and we're going back to bind. So we'll be having a matchup there again. Everything we said in that giant span of time, it still holds true. So I guess I don't have to say my piece again. I mean, the same strategies apply. The TPs are factors. We see the retakes. We see the same comps. It's all good. We're good. I'm not losing it.
No, not at all. No. Killjoy comes out, maybe? No. Sage. Whoa. Okay. All right. Not the same. Not the same. Bluey's. Oh, okay. Bluey sticks onto the Astra, and we get the Bruncheon combo with Omen. This is not the same at all. They heard you are. They're like, hey, we're gonna spice things up. It's gonna be different. What?
Yay! Different analysis time. Oh, no, never mind.
Falfin.
Yeah, yeah. We got the brute still. So never mind. That part at least standing still. I mean, Bruncheon, of course, we talk about the TP for rotates along with the teleporters on the map. You could use the Shrouded Step to reach elevations, maybe see an op out this game because we have Wattlecat on that jet, meaning that there's more likely an op potentially in this game as opposed to an Odin, although I'm not going to be surprised if we do end up seeing it as soon as those overtime bells start to ring, if those overtime bells ring. But I'm liking this Astra pick if they can actually make it work. Granted, that I say that meaning pre-nerf Astra. Post-nerf Astra, 60 seconds every cooldown, that is tough to manage. So
yeah,
I'd like to see how they adapt with that.
Yeah, that feels like Well, because you do still have the other star, but it does feel like that's an even longer play to have to deal with all of your stars. That's gonna be a tough draw as well. I think they nerfed some of the well play that comes from them. So we'll see how it works out. Chamber typically is gonna be hanging out onto a truck, but they're on attack this time around, so they're gonna be challenging out some of those longer positions to make that Deadeye work out. Cypher on either side, only a single breach. The key thing that really was kind of a slow, we need to get used to the timing of this change up from the previous game to now is the evolution of Breach. But with only one out here on this map and now playing full like resistance through a Sage and a Cypher, Wyoming Valley West Spartans, they're gonna try and just make this entire game slow to a crawl.
I mean, both teams, they both have double sentinel.
Yeah.
Chamber, Cypher on the other side, Manheim Township. I mean, I'm liking this Gecko pick. Obviously, we see it a lot in TEC, maybe not as much in pro play, but it's just that capability to have a 6-man on the field, right? Somebody planting that spike while you're actively still covering your various angles. I don't think this wall went to plan, and Rose is going to get punished for it. I think they got in the way of their own wall, and they accidentally broke it, and, well, they need a bullet in their head.
I thought maybe they were going to hide into the corner and just...
Oh, wait, no, they didn't rotate it correctly. You see it along the wall.
We'll check it out later. Oh my goodness, stopping them in their tracks. They actually dashed into their body. They're gonna try to play right around them. Are you kidding? Oh, great play from out of Brunchen. Suddenly becomes 2 dead at the door. Hoping for a third, Drift falls out. It's a 2v3, and actually there's still one player anchoring towards B. I wonder if they're being told, hey, wait for the rotation, but the numbers are still here.
Oh, spotted. And has the spike, by the way, don't forget. Choosing to run away into, you know, if they do go all the way to B, that's going to be a Cypher setup and a Jet and potentially even more rotates. So honestly, I'd like to maybe cut, re-hit A, try something of that sort, but they're going to run into a whole different set of problems. Hopefully this Jet can play off of the setup as opposed to just letting that util go to waste. And I'm liking this reposition in towards elbow.
30 seconds left.
It's first contact. Well, actually, there's no one set to receive this. You have 2 big tripwires that at least make it fundamentally that you get some of that extra information, especially from off the camera. And that's actually the go button for Wadocat. They're going to use that quick dash, kind of shoulder check into that wall. They're just going to run up into this. There's no reason to at all be shy from that contact, especially because Love Rise, I think, was already backed up and hurt. So Wyoming Valley West just playing pure mitigation and denial against Manheim Township.
Well, we said it before, we'll say it again. You win the pistol round, you have the advantage. Just be careful with how you do it, because we've seen them go very costly. 1 player remaining and 1 gun, requiring a force up, and that led to a snowball of rounds. We've also seen just where the eco does not go in your favor, regardless of how many credits you have. The bullets still may not, so be careful on how costly you make this. Wadocat, I expect some big things from them after, especially just holding their strong ground in the B site, right? Not often that you see kind of a duelist anchor down the site, but that was the plan, and they stuck to it, and it worked.
Ooh, Spino goes down first. Also, what does a cat drink, Ari?
What does a cat drink?
It's Watto. They drink water.
1 enemy remaining.
Everyone just died in the door, by the way. This bomb has been left behind. I mean, they might. Well, if that gives them a tummy ache, though. Why would you do that? You're gonna hurt you. You're gonna hurt your cat?
I don't want to hurt the cats.
You're right. Hassan Piker? What's going on? Drift. This bomb is very much in the hands of Wyoming Valley West, primed for a flawless round as Drift went to a 4-1 split, just kind of holding quarter for this save round from out of the streaks. But everyone's got an eyeball as to where this is, and it's gonna be very tough to get his paws on it.
Here.
Classic in hand, spotted 1 player. Best of luck. I believe that was a sheriff on the other side, right? Full blind, 3 seconds, don't forget. Those changes, really valuable on a map like Bind, that's for sure. I'm expecting to see a lot more of Breach with Bind pro play, but now the sheriff, 2 body shots will be good. Falfenjager making this 2 rounds for Wyoming Valley West.
What is... I feel like Falfenjager means something. Doesn't Jager mean hunter, I think? Hold on. I know this has become... Yeah?
Yep. I'm looking at
what's the first
translation. Falfen Fighter.
So we don't know what Falfen is?
I don't think it is
like a region?
Unless you're talking about Falafel Fighter.
Oh, wait, do they fight falafels? Or do they feel awful while they fight?
I don't know. I looked up Felfenjager, and the first result I got on Google was the esport company, the player profile of Felfenjager.
Hey, they're famous. First result. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, you're known, Felfenjager. All right, cool. Well, this becomes slightly podcast, but it's only because the first couple of rounds often turn into that, just before everything starts to ramp up. Slow, though, has Manheim Township been. Feels like the streaks are a little bit apprehensive about how they want to enter into these sites. They're also hoping that Wyoming Valley will kind of overextend, but the way this composition is, there's really no reason for them to peek out too many times.
I mean, obviously, when you have your guns for the first time, you're expecting your opponents to make some sort of play since they have the weaker weaponry or should have the weaker weaponry. But you kind of go into this one now with the slow scaling, and that's actually quite nice. But I want to see them pull out a strong sort of execute or prevent that very heavy util retake that they still might have had from those previous rounds.
We're hanging out backside and trying to cover their retreat. Done with both the Nebula as well as their own cyber cage, so they're getting tagged out from over top. AutoCat waiting for contact. They can hear all of the footsteps and know there's numbers to play with, especially because they have that Phantom. They're going to do just a known spray. Great understanding of angles. I don't know where that one goes unless it goes all the way to that back line. But eventually this plant does come through as you find Toy. But Bluey will be able to get another, and it becomes a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, 1 HP on the Astra, though, as that Outlaw shot did hit just through the wall. And, well, that'll be a 1-tap from Watto. The reload should have been heard by the Astra, at least that gun drop, right? Yep, the recall onto the smoke. 60 seconds, doesn't matter. The smoke cooldown's there anyway. And that Cypher Cam should pause the end of the round, or at least some extra security. Clover, though, just going to be trying to maybe do as much damage as possible. Of course, they will get maybe tagged up as they run away. One more bullet needs to be tagged on, but if you go into this elbow even further, you're going to fall down, and they will do that regardless. So not the worst of bonus rounds for Wyoming Valley West, but Manheim Township as well. But they didn't quite buy full rifles for everyone. I saw a Chamber not even having a gun, just their Headhunter.
I can see it.
Means that they got a plus some of some extra cash really to roll between some of these rounds. So Manheim Township is in great position, even if this one were to fall sideways, to at least have some, I guess, some rebuy power. And sometimes it goes a little bit sideways, especially when we look at kind of the high school sphere of Scholastic Esports, because like, why do we save? Why do we do this? Well, it's for moments like these. We have a rifle round, ladies and gentlemen. Last time we saw this one, before it was 38 rounds, it went to 2-2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It was very back about 3 hours ago, 4 hours. 3 weeks.
One eternity later.
Clover changing up their spot, though, this time. Instead of backside, instead of trying to play off of their setup, or at least getting out of dodge at the first sign of utility. They're going to hear their share of shots, and they're going to want to jump up on this box. Maybe land some shots with the Bucky. But again, this positioning very precarious, as there's so many different ways you can get caught out, especially with that smoke almost giving up their position. There's a second one, though, and that's going to be A-okay. You'll take that value, as well as the spike in hand and a rifle. No, they're just going to choose to get on out. Oh, boy, nobody's hoping that breach. Doesn't matter, though. Clover's re-peeking towards long. That's their third. And where are the last two? Who's going to clean them up? Well, it's not Clover. Not at least for the time being, as Bluey will strike back, at least giving that breath of fresh air. Maybe an extra lick of hope for Manheim.
Not overextending, but in doing so just here as Drift just waited for Clover to be hunting for an ace.
Enemy remaining.
Getting that back of his head, got that timing.
Left.
They should be able to cover up the spike. So Brunchen will hold quarter to this side of Garden, and then you've got WattoCat. I was surprised that maybe they didn't just pick up the Bucky. You have your full auto rifle. You're gonna be able to get rid of that camera. This is DOA. Drift should walk away with a rifle. It's a tough pickup with 12 seconds to go. I think the team is also telling them to do that. And so this will be Manheim Township. We'll have to make use of that extra bit of creds because Wyoming Valley does not let this one get all knotted up again.
Maybe even going for a quick pick at the end. Somebody maybe overextended towards B-Long, trying to catch that Omen that was lurking over there. But yeah, no. Looks like they're going to be happy with that result, or at least as happy as they can be given the situation. WattoCat, nice 6-1. The Bladestorm online for them. Wyoming Valley, again, we're not really seeing anything too crazy different from these two teams than we saw the last two. It's just a kind of moment of who's landing their shots here and now. And for the most part in this one, it has been Wyoming Valley West. Manheim, I think they just need to kind of play a little bit more as a unit, and you're going to see those picks start to come right on through with them. And dare I say it, maybe even an Odin being their key to victory.
I will start to be a little bit concerned about Manheim if we do not see the pace kick up a notch. I know that doesn't have to be go, 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 W key Warriors style, but there is between the previous match and this one, not just the numbers, but as well as the way that the execute is happening and the velocity that it's occurring at. Everyone peeking up and forward, Manheim Township, seeing that if Wyoming Valley will go to challenge them, but it's been playing way back. Spartans are not letting themselves be seen first. They're not really being seen themselves be seen worst. As Manheim Township decides to completely rotate, save one as they leave a lurking Cypher, but they're going to be looking and now peeking beyond the veil here at A.
I mean, it's what, 40 seconds, 45 seconds into the round, and you have just made your first contact, utility, any sort of pressure. Wyoming Valley West still has literally everything in their books. They're going to choose to go for this plant denial. That should be the first. Yep, down goes Toxic, or at least that's what I'm going to call them. Felfenjager. Aftershock, meaning a flashpoint next, and that'll be good for their first and now second. Throw blind onto the third, but it'll be the fourth that swings on out. We're coming back for the third. Boomerang indeed. Rosa goes for the stick. One player remaining. It's Spino dashing on through. The half is on, but the one tap from Wildcat is clean and crispy.
AutoCAD has been a clutch factor player and one that has not strayed away or shied away from general contact. And so aiming just a little bit too far down into the left was Spino, who was starting to be the hero for Manheim Township. But the Streaks now see themselves fall behind by 3. And, you know, they look at one full option and everyone rotates away. They leave Drift behind, and then they kind of get stuck at the door. The ability for especially Felfenjager to be so impactful from off of that fault line and that aftershock, and no one clears that corner. No one makes haste to kind of get over to that U-Haul position, so they just take advantage of that. And now Streaks are going to be in the hole.
Do you want to go for Toixel on that Gecko's name? Is that what we're going with, or are we going with Toxic?
It doesn't have an ending like K, right? It has like a, I think it's like Toixel.
It looked like Torkoal from Pokemon.
Yes,
but
okay.
It's Toixel.
Yeah, we'll do Toixel.
Okay.
Yeah, Toixel.
Had to get that sorted out, just making sure we got everybody's names right, the representation good, because, I mean, hey, we had to double check Felfenjager. We got to make sure their teammates are doing good, too. Or their opponents, forget which.
Hey, the friends to lovers trope is a good one. Might happen. Or the, wait, no, the other one. Rivals? Yeah.
Enemies to lovers?
It's the same thing. One man's enemy is another man's other enemy. Something.
Everyone's the enemy here.
Everyone's fighting. Gonna be a little late on the aftershock as the plant goes down, so they should be able to back up from that. But Toixel will have their name be said a couple extra times as Brunchin and Clover come in, and the retake is very strong from out of the Spartans.
Yeah, nice little flash there, just preventing that re-peek on the tap, or the initial one. Felfenjager good for that. And now the Astra hopping the gravity well from behind them will not matter as they are taken down in a slew of body shots. Strict picks up a gun, but also picks up a bullet to their noggin. It's 5 now for Wyoming Valley West. And you talk about, you know, the tropes all being visible here. We had the closest close could be last time, and now we're seeing only one up on the board chalk for Manheim.
I memed about it a little bit. I was like, oh, 13-0. That's clearly not what's going to happen in this one. We got a rifle round to really tell us what the tail of the tape and what the pattern will continue to be, or maybe be shifted to be. Maybe Wyoming Valley simply said, hey, we heard that you guys were behind schedule. So the possibilities are endless. The possibility, though, that they're going to get us back on schedule is impossible, because in 1 minute would have been our third match of the day. We'll see if that one ends up happening. Right now, our eyes are focused in as Wyoming Valley West is looking very strong. They have a lot of ultimates they can also act with. Manheim Township has every single one that they need. Oh, great trade. Brunchin will fall.
I mean, Toixel, as much as you go down there and that sucks, you also have to imagine that, oh, wait, yeah, we just took down the only smokes for Wyoming Valley West. It's got to be pretty dang good. Wildcat, though, falling early here. Toixel as well, landing first few bullets here. And there. And the reach ult, as well as 4 ults on the other side to maybe make this one happen. Rosa, though, it's like ships in the night sailing past each other. Toixel getting aggro, make that 3 and 4, looking for more, and nope. Unlucky.
Wildcat even has to give him some good love, as they say, great shot. Some good shaking hands in the chat. Felfenjager. Just a couple extra targets. What an angle. Popping them in the doorway. Lamp's not an issue. He's gonna touch this one. The well will come up. They're gonna be weakened. They have to land this headshot. They're gonna do so! Wolfenjager! I think they got just enough time.
0.1.
Clutch.
0.14.
Always got to overprove myself.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Not even close.
GG easy, you know? Just like last game, GG easy, not even close. 2018, that was just a great year instead. By the way, I'm having a great year right now because, like, this Valorant, it's pretty entertaining regardless of how close or far the scores are. It feels like every round has been going, I mean, at least blow for blow in terms of kills for Manheim Township. Like, we're seeing those 3Ks, 4K bursts from both teams, every player.
Everyone's getting a chance to kind of clutch up and show up for the team. Toixel made us concerned about their name, and then they started showing up and nearly getting the ace. Imagine the swing of momentum, though, that's happening on the side of the streaks after Toixel pops off, gets 4, 1 short again in that 5K. Now everything goes up. Toixel, a great entry again. We have 5 ultimates on either side of this map right now, Ari, and we need to see if some of those get actuated to execute to this site. I feel like you can do it with kind of anything that's in the wheelhouse right now for Manheim. Should be able to not only get there, but hold it too.
I hate to say it, but we had 10 ults, and then one was used, and I don't quite like how it was used, as they teleported behind a box and basically got one-tapped after that. Nice little one-tap by Wolfenjager there. That one just a headshot through the wall, but now you're talking about swinging on through. Rise, though, making a work for this, as they managed to land a headshot from the depths of Hookah. Ping on through, but it is just a wingman, and Clover's going to choose to back on out, not wanting to take too many risks, although maybe they should have, as Wolfenjager, now the hero in the last one, down out in this one, and a wall bang going to be needed to tag on, maybe a spam? Well, it's Wildcat, the bullet's just a little bit awry, and you could yell at the spray buffs or nerfs all you want there, but Clover is going to have to deal with everybody else. Oh. And the cam almost shot through the wall there.
Thought that was going to be a double wallbang headshot. Oh, chance. If they're going to be able to see him again, Clover. A2, 4K. It's on the other side of that wall. Not exactly for a great position. If they hit themselves deep enough into that corner, the well is actually going to be able to find them. And this time around, Bluey's not peeking. They're like, my ability did enough. Clover, you go run away. And so will I. A second round acquired by the Streaks, and Clover does not get to keep their gun.
I must have heard the Clove voice line instead of the Clover, the player, and they said, no peeking, and they decided, yep, okay, I'll take that listen, and I will go forward and win the round for our team. Of course, we can see the very obvious game plan that Manheim Township are going for. It's go, plant the spike, use the wingman to do that, try and have as little casualties as possible, and then stall out for as long as possible once that post plant comes through. Wyoming Valley West, though, they should start to be realizing this sooner than later, especially when you have two sentinels. You do not want them getting on a site, period, right? No, oh, okay, we're gonna play retake, unless you have like a breach ult, which you could, I guess, use, but double sentinel, you really want to hold on to the space that you're given, and that is the sites.
This is also, I mean, they've been playing as deep quarter, these Spartans, for their defense as you can really look at, and Manheim Township, for the first time in for these last couple of rounds, have been able to actually press pace, and they've done it from some of these executes out of Toixel. Using their Blade Storm, with Spino right around Toixel, can be able to at least land one of the knives in the skull. They've deemed them too precious, so they don't go for the swing immediately. Dizzy's going to chase them. Wildcat does find Drift, and they have been a pesky Cypher all the same. Ready to dash onto site. Wildcat finds a third, and the numbers are starting to dwindle very quickly.
I think Spino just not feeling comfortable there to take that fight. Maybe a bit of a confidence issue there, but the confidence got to show strong here. Because now the bullets whizzing by them. They'll need to land at least one Bruncheon. No, don't go for it. This isn't TikTok. Ain't no way. They got at least the one. Spino with that Blade Storm, though, is going to need to get a few more. And Wildcat, the counterpart, will take you on down. 7-2 will be our score.
I wish that I could be as confident as Bruncheon has been this game, with saying, you know what, it doesn't matter if they are paranoid, deafened, or even just confused. I'm just going to TP beyond them. Because when I see that, I go, okay, and I start spinning my mouse as fast as possible. But sometimes you just end up with people that are like, tunnel vision right here. And it's worked out twice for Bruncheon. So shout out to their confidence and just turning crazy plays into even crazier plays. 7-2. Go to the Spartans as we are now round number 10 here for the first half. Manheim Township apparently coveting their ultimates. I want to see them utilize it. I feel like they could use so much, especially off of a Thrash.
Yeah, it just feels like the game plan going into these rounds, well, it's either not developing or there isn't one, right? Obviously, you see them kind of just poking and prodding, and eventually somebody just says, go, push in sight, but they don't really have an idea of which utility they're going to be using, where their post-plant positions are, how they're going to be playing post-plant, and so that's why you're seeing Wyoming Valley West kind of just do the same thing every round, stall out with big utility early, force Manheim to go onto one side or the other, and then Wyoming Valley West go for that gamble, pick up the one pick on the other side, and then retake on the other. It really is like clockwork for them, and that's because Manheim Township aren't really throwing anything super innovative into this one.
You're seeing the mitigation of pace that Wyoming Valley West is imploring and impressing onto this map, really forcing Manheim Township to just think that there's only one option. Everyone's playing off of a low utility and a low economy right now to try and save things up. They put out the Cloudburst to give all of a second, but that's just to kind of trade smokes, I guess. They are all here. They technically could rotate away. Brunchen, oh, the timing to do that. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is not going to work out this time. Spino and Toixel find 2 big kills. I wonder if they even should have found in the first place. The plan does come through. The Aftershock is going to find no one, but neither does Spino and Drift as they fall.
I was hoping that Rolling Thunder would be used on that plant so that somebody would have to be using that extra utility or using their body to go and plant that spike, but it will not matter now as it's used for post-plant, and we know the Astra, the name of the game is always they play from long, and here, well, they're tucked in an extra corner, but Wadokat will not fall short. 8-2 now for Wyoming Valley West.
Bit of a lopsided venture, and we will not see anything evened up going to the second half, but Manheim Township might be able to scrounge something up. They have this rifle round. They can turn this into something. They'll have the same thing moving into that next round. They have full maxed out loser creds for the remaining 2 here of this first half. Wyoming Valley West, give them credit. There is an oodle amount of patience. They are not overstepping. There have been times they have shifted their angles because they've been playing very deep to sight. They have gone to these angles where Manheim Township has been looking for that first contact and finally subverting expectations. Brunchen, do the same thing here, but they're going to TP early. They're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with it.
Rosa, be careful. There's an op hanging on to the other angle, or maybe a headhunter. It looks like a pretty long gun, though. Manheim Township, again, not using those ultimates. So you want to stay alive, Rosa. Use that resurrect whenever you feel necessary, if that opportunity does arrive. But yeah, this split pressure should cause you to kind of back on up and make sure you don't stay over much, and you're welcome. And Fallen Yager has somehow found one. Don't know how that happened. It might have just been a one tap through the smoke, but now another one comes through as the trade pops on through.
Louis just outside of this long B position. They do have their 2 teammates locked into hookah, and it's really not a great support because they are just being found from the opposite side of door. Rosa just walking wherever they please, because all that's left on the cross is for them to just defeat Cubby, and Drift is just not going to have a good position unless they expose themselves. Oh, that's a tough way to have to walk away. Brunchen is now on A. If they choose to rotate this, then they're going to get caught from an off angle again. I think the call is being made. Drift and Bluey are going to escape. This is going to be prime real estate for Brunchen.
I mean, not enough time. They really have to book it here. They'd have to clear the entirety of the A site plus the Cypher setup. Yeah, they have realized it now. And no way do they expect Brunchen. Maybe that smoke gives them an idea, but nope. First, meeting a headshot and their demise. The second one, a few more body shots, and they will follow. Brunchen doing A-okay in this one. Not making a silly play, just makes the correct one, and it goes out perfectly for them.
It was an early play at the very beginning of that B-long position. They had TP'd over. Even they could have stayed for the numbers, but they decided, you know what? I'm gonna TP out. And it was forgettable enough to just be over and now be a long-term anchor to that short position of A. So 9-3 curses will have to be what Manheim Township finds. They finally popped the tour de force.
You want to play?
So,
Let's
see if
play.
Love Rise will get someone in their crosshairs. Brunchen has decided dark cover is where I will live. Now they get their ultimate online too.
I thought you were going to say in dark cover is where they will die as they get one tap through a smoke. That would be my luck.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I'm just expecting that Tour de Force shot through 3 walls, bouncing off of mirrors, somehow hitting me in the head. I mean, that's just my luck, but... No, ain't no way. They stopped moving. They went to go clip it. That's exactly what just happened there. I hope you know.
Got the old G-Force experience right there. Wow. Okay. Well, turning biology into physics in the form of a bullet. And now look at how deep they've actually entrenched themselves on the defense side for the Spartans into not just short, but as well as this market position that they're going to walk into. That neural theft found a body, and so they're squeezing in.
This is actually a great idea from Rosa, just realizing, hey, I'm going to go in. Sortuka, slow them down, make sure they feel the pressure. And it turns out a 2 versus 2 trade. Rosa spots that final player, everyone knows, and now they shall swing on out. Falfenjager, the one to get the kill. Wyoming Valley West holding Manheim Township at 2, and yeah, may as well. Final round of the half, go for it.
All right. This is usually when I say 10-2, it's kind of a brutal. You missed getting to utilize the curse, but the new curse is 11-1, and all Americans know that. So, yeah.
It is still 11-2 to me. Rest in peace, my heretics babies.
Oh, that's real. Yeah.
It's a rough day.
However, Manheim Township, there's a lot of work to do. If you're any kind of old school, traditional sports head, you've seen football games where they're like, you know what, turn off the scoreboard. We got a paper scoreboard right here. We're rewriting history. Round at a time. For the Spartans, it's 3. For Manheim Township, just go play the game.
1 by 1, brick by brick.
Build that wall.
I mean, that's exactly what you need to do here. Don't think of it as 13 that your target is. Obviously, we all know that's the case, but focus on getting that first one. You've been staved out for a while now, so it would be nice to kind of get things even closer to tie, get yourself some more confidence. Spino, at least with the first one, some nice sheriff shots. The body is all it'll take, just 2 of them. And around like the pistols, and they almost get an extra few more, but Rise now going to be the one that has to come to the challenge. Rosa, nice shot, 2 feet from triple. Valfenjager a bit too aggressive on that one, let's be real, as they overheat a tad, but it's okay. They've got the numbers 3 versus 2 and very aggressive positionings.
I would be very afraid of Toixel. They've consistently put a lot of damage out, and I feel like even with a pistol that they're going to be eyeing up getting rid of a few Spartans here, especially because 2 are at half strength. Only got your Cypher who's ready to go. Toixel, nice chop of at least 1 player down. Rosa right around the corner, trying to be able to spam some extra shots, and they're doing it. Clove, Cypher, who's gonna be the big It will be Drift, but at what cost? They cannot get this one defused, even at half. This one still goes 11 for the Spartans.
Well, same things can be said here as last time. Again, don't push your advantage too much. Make sure you're happy with it. And actually, let's touch back on that last round, right? We talked about the aggressive positioning after the post plant. Valfenjager does get a little bit silly and goes down for it, but you still have the numbers. And they expend some util. It's a tripwire that stays over in CT, just allows you to have that information on the angle, funnel both players up towards heaven, and then you see the players from Wyoming Valley West back it up. They realize, hey guys, we can just play the time, and that's exactly what happened. They make the right call. It ends up being their win condition factor that goes in their favor, and they're rewarded with the round. I mean, Wyoming Valley West are doing everything that's asked of them. They're just going to keep on doing it.
Gotta wonder though if Manheim Township did not all buy. It looks like that we just got pistols. This is going to be one of those rounds where you do kind of go onto that big buy and just try it out. Spino does find 1, but the rifle is bought by Wattlecat. A round 2 Phantom is a choice, and one that is paying off right now, especially as they're holding up quarter from underneath the wall that Rosa built. Really showing up into this one, but the Headhunter finds a head onto Rosa. It's a 3 versus 3.
Last player standing.
Unlucky. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen in that scenario. Only so much you can do. Wattlecat with 3. You go frag warrior here, but
match point.
Now, just 1 round separating us from a potential victory for Wyoming Valley West. A bit different compared to the scoreline we saw last time between 2 different teams, but, hey, some refreshing gameplay, if you will, different strategies, different compositions. Regardless, both teams have to be happy with their performance. And Manheim Township, they still have some life, right? You still have double Sentinel. This should be your stronger side. It's about putting those pieces together, and it's better late than never.
It's a key note. Wyoming Valley West, they were the Division 3 champions back in the spring. So this is a team that knows how to be able to really kind of run with some gusto and execute well. And seeing them with this program up in Division 1, it's a lot that they've been able to learn, and they also have to kind of take on all the squads in whatever form that they come at. So holding deep is going to be Drift. They get a wallbang headshot into Falfenjager. Can they do it again? No. Wattlecat lay them down, so it becomes a 4 versus 4 in the Streaks versus Spartans combination. And look at this 3-man turn from out of this elbow position. Wattlecat has a mind's eye for it.
Nailed them.
Wattlecat heating up and maybe getting put down a bit too quick. Falfenjager, though, brought back to life. And Rosa with a nice little bait, baits the res, runs over to the other side and pinches that hall positioning. Bluey, though, spots one player and unfortunately can't quite take the shot. The reaction time not fast enough, and it would be through a wall, giving up the position even more. But here, they're now noted 2 players to beat, separating them from defeat, and they can find the one. The gravity well can't save you this time, though. Maybe a smoke can instead. Spam potentially working in the tube, and there's that second tap. You have to know the player is on, but there's that Spam jumping out of hookah. Player spotted, and Clover says it's over. Wyoming Valley West up to 13, and that'll do it here in this series.
Wyoming Valley West will advance to 2-1 through their first couple of weeks of play. Manheim Township will fall to 1-2. Funny enough, Manheim Township actually was in the first round. First round did after a 1-2 performance against Forest Hills in the state championships. So seeing them come through, and they're facing off against the new kids on the block in Wyoming Valley West. Looks like that Division 3 advancement of that championship is giving them some good looks here into Division 1. Wattlecat, Falfenjager, and Clover. I mean, just a solid performance from that top 3. Got to give some love over to Toixel. We, chewed with their name, but they started chewing a couple times into these rounds against the Spartans.
And again, even those players maybe a little bit lower, Bluey's still playing those post plants reliably. Unfortunately, didn't quite convert all the clutches, but, given 2 more seconds bought by their teammates, there's a world where they win it. Spino had some nice shots. Drift's been always there anchoring. It felt like they were always the last one alive, to their faults or to their luck, either way. And then you have Rise and Rosa, people that have been hitting some nice shots every now and again. Rosa just using that utility, understanding their role at the team, which is, I'm going to wall this off. I'm kind of just going to sit back on site because the whole point is that I'm playing reactive to what's happening. And well, when the team does nothing for the first 40 seconds, you're not going to really be reacting. Your job is not to be proactive. So they are A-okay with their roles and how they did it. Now, I think they just need to kind of go into the next ones, maybe have more fun with it, get more experience on the block, and they'll be shooting just like the rest of their other teammates and their opponents, be it in the next few games.
Yeah, it's going to be several weeks. Actually, I think based on what I've been hearing from some of my other constituents, Q, mind you, he was like, you know what? We're going to be going to playoffs here pretty soon. The fall is always a bit of a, who's ready right now? Who's prepared to go up into the conference, and who's ready to take on this division? So you have some time. You've had your first 3 weeks. Now it's about getting your proper identity and getting to execute. So these programs will get a chance to do exactly that for maybe 2 or 3 more weeks before playoffs come up. But before those brackets come up, we still have more activity. Not today, though. The third game is gone and dusted. We apologize for that. The first game was literally 38 rounds. So, I think we have an excuse. Shout out over to Mancan Man, our producer, that was able to help out me and Ari put our faces in your spaces and help us survive a septuple overtime. We really got both sides of the coin with this one, Ari. It was a wild time here.
Yeah, I mean, 7 OTs, the second game a little bit farther apart, but still entertaining both in their own right. We got to see some highlight plays, crazy plays, silly plays, and then Brunchin just doing whatever shenanigans they wanted to have fun with. Either way, I'm entertained. I hope you guys, the viewers, were as well. Monkey Man, take it away.
We got Thursdays with Marvel Rivals, so make sure to take it right back to this channel as well as all the other PIA channels. You can put PIEA_, pick a number, 01, 02, 03. All of them will be online, and that's where you can find all of this awesome Pennsylvania Scholastic action for esports and these awesome students. And make sure you tune in Monday through Thursday because it'll happen over and over again. I think Fortnite's also being added into the rotation, so if you want to see the evening set, St. Francis and Waynesburg will also be showcased here and on the other PIA channels for the collegiate side, and where some of these awesome students may be elevating their game. But for you guys at home, this afternoon is done. The evening will have some fun, but we're on the run. I'm Hell Monkey Man. That is Ari. You have been fantastic, and we'll see you next time.
feet was bone dry, it was bone dry.